Howdy, howdy, and thanks for checking out episode 114 of the Eyes Free Sports podcast. My name is Greg Lindberg. Here on this episode, we are visiting with a college student who is highly skilled at both beat baseball as well as blind golf. And he has competed at the highest of levels in both sports and has racked up several titles on the golf course. So why don't we go ahead and hit the fairway and get swinging into episode 114 of the Eyes Free Sports podcast. All right, so my guest here on this episode of Eyes Free Sports is Tyler Cashman. And Tyler is a super talented beat baseball player, a blind golfer, and overall just super accomplished blind athlete. Tyler, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Absolutely. Appreciate you taking the time. I know you shared you're in the midst of finals here in college right now, so appreciate you doing this in the midst of everything you have going on right now.
No problem. Just super excited to be doing this. It's a nice break from the finals.
Cool. Okay. Hopefully gets your mind off it a little bit, studying and everything. So yeah, why don't we just kind of dive right in here and kick things off with just your background. Just talk to me about your early years as far as where you were born and where you grew up.
So I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And then am almost immediately, like 2 weeks after I was born, moved to New Jersey, in Oldwick, New Jersey, it's pretty central Jersey, kind of the middle of nowhere, but it's nice. And so that's where I grew up. Went to Voorhees High School, and yeah, now I'm at the University of Richmond in Virginia.
Nice. Very cool. And definitely want to get into your college career here in a little bit, but just talk to me a little more about your eye condition. What kind of visual impairment do you actually have?
So I'm actually undiagnosed at the moment. They know it's a or they think it's a genetic condition because of the mutations they're seeing when they've done the genetic testing, but they don't know what the genetic like what that mutation does or what it is and how it affects the eyes completely yet.
Gotcha. I see. And so how old were you when you kind of noticed something, or your family noticed, a change in your vision?
It was in the fourth grade is when I started, and it actually started at my elementary school when the school nurse would call everybody in for an eye test. And I would always just listen to the person in front of me's eye test and then just say what they said, just thinking that was normal.
Right.
And then the nurse changed the sheet on me when I had to go up, and I got them all wrong. So that was the first time we noticed that something was off.
Gotcha. You couldn't fool them for too long, right?
No.
And then, so you said you were mainstreamed as far as school goes.
Yeah, I went to public school all the way through high school.
Gotcha. And then, so as far as college, so you mentioned you're at the University of Richmond. So they're the Spiders, right? The mascot?
Yep.
Definitely one of my favorite mascots.
Yeah, it's partially the reason I came to the school because I liked it so much.
Very cool. Yeah. Just talk to me about your journey, how you ended up choosing Richmond, and just as far as like the accommodations, have they been pretty supportive just as far as your needs?
Yeah, so I always kind of wanted a small school like Richmond is. So I applied to like 7 or 8 schools, and my grandpa really wanted me to apply to Richmond beforehand. I didn't know that much about it, and to make him happy, I said, okay, I'll apply here. And then we waited, and then I got in, and my mom and I came down for a visit. And then we were looking around the school. We did a tour, and we were just walking around, and I kind of just fell in love with the campus. It's really pretty, and really it's just really nice here, and with the mascot, and then they also had Greek life, so it kind of just checked all the boxes for me.
Nice.
Yeah, and then with the accommodation side, they were super great here because that was a big thing when choosing a school for me. I had to go through because you have to wait until you get accepted to the school to talk about to their disability office. So I had to wait until I got accepted to each school to talk to their disability office to make sure that they could accommodate me. and Richmond's disability office has just gone above and beyond with helping me and getting all my accommodations.
Nice, nice. Definitely awesome to hear that. And I understand you are part of a fraternity.
Yeah, I'm in Lambda Chi Alpha here.
Nice. And how has that experience been for you?
It's been amazing. I've definitely met like the some of the closest friends I've ever had, and it's just definitely made my college experience a lot more memorable.
Nice, nice. And then as far as your major, what are you studying and what are your career goals?
So I'm a business administrations major with a concentration in marketing. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet, but this summer I actually have an internship with the Golf Association of Philadelphia, with doing some adaptive golf stuff for them and then doing some marketing stuff. So I'm excited for that, and we'll see where that takes me if I enjoy that kind of stuff. So
Nice,
yeah.
nice. That's awesome. You get a chance to kind of work in sports, which I know in general you're super passionate about.
Yeah, it's definitely something. It's cool that I can work and still be connected to like something I love as much as golf.
Exactly. Yeah. So in terms of sports, so just talk to me about your athletic journey. So I assume you played sports growing up as a kid?
Yeah, I played baseball up until the eighth grade, and then after eighth grade, the doctors told me that it was no longer safe for me to play because my vision had deteriorated too much. So with the ball moving and then I could like hit people, it just became too much of a danger. So I really wanted to play a sport in high school because I loved being part of the team, and then I don't know, I just enjoyed the competition part. So I figured I could play golf because the ball doesn't move and there's no contact. So the doctors couldn't stop me from playing it.
Right.
Uh,
Definitely a safer option. Yeah.
yeah. So then I played on the high school team. I was JV my freshman year, and varsity the 3 years after, and I was the co-captain of the team my senior year. So yeah, it was really fun.
Wow. That's awesome. And I'm curious, how was that like, playing among your sighted peers?
I mean, it was definitely cool, because it was cool knowing that I could go out and still compete with these kind of people. I mean, I obviously had my caddy with me to line me up and stuff, but it was still cool that I could beat fully sighted people with a little bit of an adaptive part.
Exactly. Yeah. So then a little further here on golf. So after high school, just talk to me about how you got involved in. I know it's the USBGA, I believe, the U.S. Blind Golf Association, right?
Yeah. So it was actually super random that how I got involved with them. My grandpa, who's my coach and caddy when I go to like the blind golf tournaments or any tournament I'm playing in, he found the link to a tournament that was coming up in Florida. And so it was my freshman year of college, first semester, and we went down and we competed in the tournament, and I think I got second. But it was just a ton of fun because I got to meet other visually impaired people, which I didn't really know. I knew some people from beat baseball, but never any other visually impaired golfers. So that was definitely really cool.
Right. Very neat. And so for those wondering, I know you did mention a caddy. If you just want to explain kind of how blind golf works and the adaptations of the game.
Yeah, definitely. So each blind golfer gets a caddy slash a coach to go around and play with them. Pretty much every visually impaired player can't play without one, just because they're so important to lining us up at the hole, or in general, just the right direction. And then finding our balls after we hit them, and then just talking through strategy, like reading the greens and stuff, because obviously visually impaired players, it's tougher for them to do that sort of thing.
Right. I see. And can you kind of give like an example of some things, your caddy, your coach might say, just to help you, get more lined up?
Yeah, so for a general shot, I'll take my practice swings and my grandpa and I'll talk through what we want to do. And then I'll step up to the ball and he stands like behind the golf ball. So like behind me, so he's like right behind it and can see where it goes. And then from there, he makes sure that the ball is like at the center of my club face. So he'll either say up and I'll move closer, or I'll move forward, or back and I'll move back. And then once we have that done, he'll say like right a little bit, left a little bit, or right a lot, to get me sort of lined up. And then he kind of just says good to go, and I just take the swing.
Very cool. And I'm curious, is he like hands-on with you at all? Just kind of like placing your shoulders in a certain position, or is it pretty much all verbal instruction?
It's pretty much all verbal for me. Um, each visually impaired player has their own way that they've kind of figured it out, like with their coach, because it's like at the end of the day, you want to do what's most comfortable for you. So everyone kind of has their own way. But for me, it's mainly him just telling me like left, right, up, up, back, that kind of stuff.
Right. Makes sense. So as far as golf goes, I know you've competed in some pretty cool events, both here in the U.S. and abroad. Any highlights that you want to mention?
2 years ago, I competed in the Vision Cup, which is the visually impaired version of the Ryder Cup. So it's the best visually impaired golfers from North America versus the best visually impaired golfers from the rest of the world. And they do it every other year. So it's the opposite year of the Ryder Cup. It's actually again this year, this summer. But 2 years ago was the first time I got asked to be on the team, and it was down at TPC Sawgrass, which is just an amazing course. And it was the first time that Team North America had won. It was the fifth time they'd done it, so it was pretty cool. That
Wow.
was an awesome experience.
Yeah. So that was a team event, obviously, right?
Yeah, so that was definitely a cooler part that I got to like be on a team with the guys I'm normally competing with. It was really cool.
For sure. Yeah. And do you know like how many teams representing different countries? How many different countries actually participated?
On Team North America, there was Canada, the US, and Mexico. And then on the rest of the world, they had people from Australia, South Africa, the UK, Thailand. I'm missing some, but they had people from all over, which was really cool that I got to meet those because that was the first time I met international visually impaired people. So that was really cool getting to meet them and hear their stories of like what they've gone through and that kind of stuff. So that was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of sharing, like you said, stories and experiences. And obviously, blindness is kind of treated differently around the world. And there are more accessible places and less accessible places. And so I'm sure that was neat making all those connections.
Yeah, it was really interesting hearing like what everybody from different places went through and how it compared to here.
Right. Yeah. I'm definitely curious, like the team kind of approach to golf versus, individually competing. What would you say some of the biggest differences are?
I liked it more than competing alone, I would say.
Hmm.
I felt like it was nice having a teammate like out there on the course with you, to like pick you up when you're down, and it's just nice having someone that you can talk to that you're not trying to be in a competition with. You're just out there both trying to do the same thing. So I definitely like that part of the team aspect.
Right. Right. Definitely makes sense. And any other golf tournaments or achievements that you'd like to mention?
I guess I'll go kind of just a list of what I went through last year. Last year I came in first at the South African Open, second at the World Championship for blind golf. I won the Canadian Open, and then most recently, in I think it was October or it might have been November, I won the U.S. Nationals, which was pretty cool.
Wow. Quite a resume right there. What would you say your favorite course that you played on is? And this is also like favorite place that you visited through golf.
I think my favorite course has to be TPC Sawgrass, where I played in the Vision Cup. I mean, it was just so cool playing where the pros do in a super cool tournament they play every year and seeing places that like people have been that I watched on TV. And I was like, well, I'm like right here. I saw him hit the shot. So that
Yeah,
was definitely something that was really cool. And I think favorite place that it's taken me, it would be South Africa.
sure.
Um, that was just an unbelievable experience. I never thought that I'd ever end up in South Africa. But it got this took me there and it was amazing. It was awesome there.
Nice. Very cool. And also, I know you did mention your grandpa, being your caddy. Just talk to me a little bit more about that relationship with your grandpa and being able to celebrate, some of these victories with him. What has that meant to you? What has that meant to him?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about visually impaired golf is I get to do it with my grandpa. And I think one of the other coolest parts is at the visually impaired tournaments when if you at the awards dinner, if you do get an award, your caddy also gets one,
Hmm.
like a trophy. Um, so I've always really liked that part because it's really cool that I can go out and I can compete with him. And at the end of the day, it's not just like I'm winning, it's like we're both winning because it is such a team sport and he's just so crucial to me playing and I definitely couldn't do it without him.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it sounds like it's definitely a team effort, even if it's just a two-person team like that, with the golfer and the caddy. Because there's so much involved in the technique and in general, winning a tournament is hard. So there's a lot of good competition out there.
Yeah. And and it's such a and in blind or visually impaired golf, there's such a trust aspect that you have to have with your caddy because you have to trust that this person is lining you up in the correct spot and that they're gonna keep doing that. And if you can't trust the person that does that, it becomes really hard because then you're worried about other stuff. So I'm lucky I don't really have to worry about that with my grandpa, because he knows my swing better than I do. But the caddies are just so crucial to the game.
Right. Absolutely. And that kind of reminds me of I've interviewed a lot of runners on this podcast, that have a guide that they run with, and trust is so important. Just the feedback, that guide gives to the runner sounds like a
Mhm.
very similar concept.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so let's move on to beat baseball. So talk to me about how you first found out about beat baseball and how you got involved.
So I first found out about beat baseball at a in New Jersey. There was a visually impaired conference that I went to, and I met a couple of the players on the Titans. And so I kind of just got introduced through that. And then through that, I kept playing during my high school years, and because I missed baseball, and it was a way that I could still play baseball, just a little bit differently. So. I played it for a couple of years and it was really fun.
Nice. Yeah. And I know you did mention playing baseball growing up, kind of having some experience playing regular baseball. Would you say was helpful to get into beat ball?
I mean, I think it was helpful when it came to hitting. I think golf was actually more helpful to beat baseball because you in beat baseball you obviously want to have a very consistent swing so the pitcher could hear you, and I had a very consistent like lower swing with my golf swing. So I think that helped me because in golf you just want to keep repeating the same thing over again. So I think that helped me a lot.
Yeah, that's a great point. Two completely different sports, but definitely some parallels there. So I know you have played on the New Jersey Titans, and any tournaments you want to mention, or any moments you've had in your beat ball playing days?
I've played in the Beat Baseball World Series. Uh, ooh, yeah, two or three times with the Titans, which was it was really cool. It was a lot of fun going out there, and playing with those guys, and it's just a fun sport, and being part of that community was a lot of fun.
Nice. And would you say you prefer, batting, kind of the offensive side of the game, or defensively, able to make those plays in the field?
I think personally the batting was always more. I was also better at that part, but I mean the field was still a lot of fun. It just if you're out there for a while, it can get hot.
Oh yeah,
Just sitting out there baking, but I mean they're both super fun.
for sure. Yo. So, any other sports that you've tried or have an interest in trying as far as blind sports go?
When I first started up with beat baseball, I also played goal ball for a little bit, which is another visually impaired sport.
Nice. Yo.
Um, so that was a lot of fun. Um, it just takes a toll on your body 'cause you're diving and trying to block the ball. But that I really like that one. Hopefully I can play that more sometime down the line. It gets with like multi sports and school. It's just a lot.
Definitely. Yeah. And then as far as just being a sports fan, I'm curious, specifically like golf. I know that's probably your big sport that you're kind of known for. Any golfers that you really look up to or aspire to kind of play like?
It's a good question. I don't know. I've never really compared myself to like golfers in that way. I have my favorites when I'm watching them, but I don't know. I've never I've never even thought to compare myself to those guys. They're way better than I am.
Gotcha. And who are some of your favorite golfers?
I'm a big Jordan Spieth fan.
Yep.
Uh, he's been struggling a little bit, but I'm hoping that he's gonna get through it. I'm a big Bryson DeChambeau fan.
Oh yeah.
I actually got to meet him. He did some stuff with the visually impaired golfers over in the UK at one of the live events, and then when they came to one of the live events in New Jersey, um, I we he invited us out, my grandpa and I, and we got to meet him, and that was really cool.
Wow. Did you get a picture, autograph, or
Oh yeah, got
the
got
whole
everything.
shebang?
But
Yep.
yep.
Nice. Very cool. I know Scotty Scheffler now has won the last couple Masters. Do you follow him at all? Or?
Yeah, he's been winning everything recently. This season he's won, I think I think he won four tournaments in a row.
That's right. Even before the
Which is
Masters.
yeah, that was really cool. He's really cool to watch just because he's so good. He's just so he can tell he just has the flow in his swing and he's another really fun one to watch.
Yeah. I know everyone's kind of waiting for like that next Tiger, the next super dominant golfer. And we just haven't really seen anyone, that's been to that level quite yet. So, we'll see.
Yeah, no, yeah, Scotty's definitely um on his way with how he's playing right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I did want to ask you about this nonprofit I understand that you and your family have, if you want to talk about that.
So when I was growing up, my mom suffered from chronic pain and through that she got involved with the US Pain Foundation. And so she would go to conferences for them. Well, the US Pain Foundation's a nonprofit that helps people with chronic pain. Um, so she would go to these different conferences and I would go to some of them with her. And in the summer going into the seventh grade, I asked my mom if I could start a fundraiser for kids that lived with chronic pain. So I did. I was the manager of the girls basketball team at the time, so I asked the coach if we could do a fundraiser called Points for Pain, where parents could donate like for how many like a dollar for how many points their kids scored or something like that. Just a little small thing um, to donate or to raise some money to send these kids to a summer camp. And then since then, it's grown and we've raised uh, just over like $240,000 and have put on multiple weekend long retreats. And now we do a week long summer camp where we bring 40 families and it's all handicap accessible. And it's really awesome.
Wow, that's amazing. And what does that mean to you guys to be able to make that kind of an impact on others' lives?
It's a really great feeling when I can look at these kids and see them having fun because a lot of them have never been to summer camps before because they're not fully handicap accessible. So seeing the kids go to these fully handicap accessible summer camps and doing things for the first time, it's just an incredible feeling, and I'm just happy I can do what I can to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious if you had any visually impaired kids as part of those camps.
There has been some kids with visually impairments that have come, um, but it's all different types of um, chronic pain that we try and help.
Right, right. That's awesome. And hey, I definitely applaud you and your family, for that kind of work and making that impact. Definitely good stuff.
Thank you.
So before we wrap up here, I wanted to give you the chance to mention any resources if anyone is interested specifically in like blind golf. How can they learn more? Where would you recommend they visit online?
So you can definitely go to the USBGA. If you look at the United States Blind Golf Association, their website will come up, and that has all different types of resources and different things to help you get started. Other than that, if you look up adaptive golf with the USGA, they also have a bunch of resources that can definitely help you get you started.
Nice. Cool. I'll definitely include a link to that in the show notes for this episode.
Awesome.
And then also as far as social media, are you a social media guy? Facebook, Instagram, anything you want to mention? X?
So my Instagram is Ty Cashman 1114. I've recently started posting um, some golf videos on there. Because I forgot to mention this, but Mizuno, the brand Mizuno, recently just sponsored me for golf. So
Oh, wow.
I've been doing all kinds of videos with my new clubs and stuff that they've given me.
Nice. Gotta love sponsorships, right?
Yeah, it's been really awesome, and they've been great over there.
That's cool. Yeah. Cool. And then I'll definitely include that link to your Instagram profile too, so people can find you on there.
Awesome.
Alrighty. Well, again, we've been chatting with Tyler Cashman here on Eyes Free Sports. And really, really appreciate the time, Tyler. First off, congrats on all of your achievements, in golf and beat baseball, etc. And secondly, thank you again for the time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on here. And, amazing. And I'm super happy that you invited me on here.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
To hear more episodes of the Eyes Free Sports podcast and to subscribe, search for Eyes Free Sports on your favorite podcast platform or visit eyesfreesports.com. Be sure to follow the Eyes Free Sports podcast at facebook.com/eyesfreesports and on Twitter at Eyes Free Sports.